Jennifer. Thank you so much. Guys, I am recording. I'm recording open house. Thanks for coming. Going to look at crude first this morning. It's got some red momentum in the overnight, but we're bouncing on this 30-day one. Today is end of the month and end of the week. So you can see how they move it down where their puts are. And they couldn't even touch the line, which tells you their puts are sitting right there, right? They're not even letting them get close to it. So right there. So we'll see if that gets challenged as we go forward or if they move it back to the mean. Here is a another view. You can see that here's the daily, and we got down to the daily one and bounced back to the middle of the daily distribution. Here's the Globex Open. And we're just now bouncing on the Globex Open. And it looks like we're on top of the VWAP. So if it comes back to challenge this lower 74.72, you know, we might dip down to our volatility levels. Maybe we're in the split volatility right now. Got to my volatility level, pulled back in. So we'll see if we bounce here on the open and start going up to these weekly ones sitting up here, 75.96 and 75.86. That would be my guess, is to get back up here and tag these weekly ones. And here are some intraday levels. The yellow are my 1 hour IB off the close and the open. So I know that's confusing, but yesterday's close will also act as support resistance as well as today's open, which has not printed yet. Well, yeah, it did. It did print. It's 8:15. So we're bouncing off of this 1 hour IB low, came down and tagged the prior, look at this, came down and tagged the prior IB right there. See that right there? And is now moving back up. Here's your Globex 1. Could be a little bit of resistance, but once it clears this area, you know, it's going to be looking for these upper targets at the weekly ones. If this resistance holds, then we could come back and, you know, test the lower end. But right now we've got 198 daily range on average for a full range, 142 for middle range, and 71 for a small range, low, medium, high volatility. Our slope is trying to move back up, meaning the range was expanding, but it was expanding down and it hit that wall. So I don't know if they're going to try to go back and challenge it. It did not get challenged. They would not even let it touch it. So the middle part of this monthly range is at 77.51. And that would be way up here. So I don't think that we'll get up past this. I mean, you don't know, daily 3. But if it does, that would be where it would be trying to get to. And we can just start making our measurements to get to the weekly ones. That would be, you know, in line with our full daily range, $1.92. So our full daily range is $1.98. So that would certainly get us there within the range, and even the upper one, yep, 202. So So we're right there in the sweet spot with our full range, hitting the weekly ones. If this, turns out to be all they give and they send it back down to challenge these lower areas, then, you know, it would come back down to the daily twos. But that really helps, giving yourself a little bit of a feel for where the range might be. And that's the full range. A partial range at $1.42, we've already hit it. So we just hit the first standard deviation and it stopped on a dime. Do you see that? The 68% of the daily range, 2 standard deviations. So if you take it from, a lot of people will take it from the VWAP or the mean with their calculations. You can use the lower targets, the 71. Hey, Bradley, good morning. I'm going to mute you if that's okay, unless you want to say hello. How's it going? How's everything going?
Hey, it's going good. Thank you.
Is it?
Yep.
Everything get done okay? Cool.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. No, thank you. All right. So you can see that going from the VWAP, you can measure to get to your, first easy target. So Bradley was just showing that you can use your daily range, $1.98, $1.42, 71 in crude. I popped that video in there. There's a Twitter link here in the chat box. Take a look at that. ExxonMobil was telling us that, energy prices are going to go up pretty significantly pretty soon. There's a lack of product and a lack of supply, and prices are going to go higher. But from the bottom, going up, we're going to run into our our weeklies. So here's your weekly range. It gets right there on our daily range as far as a target to hit, if it gets up there. Coming back in for the VWAP now. We're getting this range expansion. It looks like it's trying to come down. Here's your mid-band at 74, 72. That may be where it's trying to tag. And we broke the 1-hour IB. So we did use this Globex 1 as a resistance. And for the crude, I set this to 1700 to 8 a.m. That's when crude opens. We don't really have any open outcries anymore. We're just using the old school, 8 to 9 and 8:30 to 9:30 is our 1-hour IB. And I think all the old algos are still coded to that. But you can see we hit some macro targets yesterday and bounced weekly 1. Hit the weekly 2, excuse me. And so we have to get past this 1-hour IB close from yesterday. And then it might try to come down here to this lower 1-hour IB or pop back up. But overall, for long-term macro, y'all should pay attention to that ExxonMobil, and for good reason. The guy who retweeted it or tweeted it out that I copied, found it and tweeted it, is the risk or risk manager for Deutsche Bank, Joe Schwartz, sent that out. And so when he sends something out, we should listen. So if the big banks are watching it, then we should too. All right, so there's our crew just sitting in the middle, not doing anything. And when you see, he's got zeros on the market analyzer, not doing anything. A little bearish activity again. 74, 72 is my bounce spot. But I do have my volatility all the way down at 74.51 in case it flushes. And $74.51 is not, has not hit that 30-day one. So the 30-day one is definitely holding the support, 73.60. When you put the monthly on the chart, Bradley, you can do it as a 1 month or a 30-day. The 1 month will get you the days, trade days in that month, and the 30 days just a static 30 days. And as you can see, the algos trade to both. Let me put up a 1 month ones and show you what that looks like. I'll make it in yellow so you can compare the two. So I can do a PT1 only in yellow and make it a month one. There it is. It's actually lower. So in case they break their 30-day one, they'll probably move their risk below this 1 month one. See how it's used? They've used them both. And they really, you have to really pay attention to these levels, the monthly and the weekly, when, that like today is the end of the month and the week. So should this break, they're going to be tucking that down below 69.71. I would imagine that's where the risk would be moved. And it does look like it's coming straight down, trying to. So let's take a look at the equities. Where is my ES? Right there. Okay. So the first thing you notice that the vol crush continues, and we're now coming into the daily one. And here is your 7-day one down here at 15.95. A 7-day one, yeah, 7-day one. And then here are some 20-day ones. So I do a 5, 10, 15, 20 also. And 520, and this is a 20 also. So it looks like we've got a bunch of support sitting there. But if it breaks, they can actually pound us into the ground even further on this volatility if they really wanted to, and send it down to these 30-day ones down here. The 20s are hopefully going to act as a circuit breaker before it gets to the 30. I hope so. But the vol range is $1.05, and they've been, breaking these ranges. So that would get us down to this daily one here at 1664. So you can, anticipate, if it gets to be a full range for the volatility, that we would want to look at 1664 for sure for that daily one right there. And see if we get a bounce. If they crush it below, like they have been, because it's been breaking ranges below before, they're, the vol sellers are probably trying to get to these 7-day targets or at the bottom of this three. And, you could probably, try, throwing on a short here at 1664 for the adventurous when it reaches 1664 volatility, if you're so inclined, give it a try. So here is the mid band for that daily. And these calcs are on both the open and the close. So this daily is on the close, and this daily is on the open. So I've got two mid bands, and they will go to both. So it could get stuck between the 1722 and 1703. Right now, they've just gone straight through it, which leads me to believe they're just, Volapalooza selling, selling, selling. You can go to Quick Strike, and since this is on the close, the 1703, I like to go and put my 41.45 and see where that is on the, no, that's where we're sitting right here. So you can, actually, let me do better. Hang on 1 second. My daily close. So they're saying 41.55. So it should go to between 41.45 and 41.55 on the open. Mark this down. Let me go in and look at my quick sheet. So I've got open interest, call open interest, and put open interest right here. And the change next to it. So you can see at 41.55, they've got 5,000 puts, 5,098, 5,622 at 4,000 puts rather, 5,000 calls. So There is a lot of put and call, so it's 5,000 calls, 5,000 calls here, 1,000 puts at 55. So it looks like 4150 is going to be a magnet. And then they'll probably try to get it up to 55. And then there's really nothing. 4140, 3,000 puts. So we're stacked. We're just, it looks like it may not go far at all today because there's so many puts and calls everywhere. This is really loaded up. 24,000 puts at 4,100. And I guess my big call is sitting here at 4175, or, we're sitting on them 4155 and 4150. So we're sitting on the big volume right here, 50 and 55. Check the volatility real quick. Oops. It's really low. So 4140 would be your put. Very little open interest. So 4150, anything above 4150 looks like it's just all calls. And between 41, 40 and 4150 is just going to be probably back and forth with those, 5,000 puts, 45 and 50. All right. Might be just a sit here and chop day, inside day. Let me recalculate this real quick. Yeah, I think that we're going to probably just, sit right in here in this first standard deviation. The high gamma looks like it's at 55. So, or 1108, 1109, let's see, 1108, 4160. So it might get up to 4160 for that high gamma. All right. So here we go. Blocked at the PT1. So once that breaks, we'll try to pop it up here, maybe to 4160 and then back down. But here's your weekly ones. 4175 did have some high volume on it. So we'll see. This is the dailies. Looks like it's bouncing off the daily ones. And here's your quarterly means. And this white line acting as resistance was a 12-week one. So with all these little tiny bars, it'll easily get back up in there and challenge that high. Looks like we opened, moving higher. Trying to get up to our 55 level now. NQ is selling off. It's found the resistance, quarterly resistance, almost 13,400, and we're coming down to the bottom of our 13,186, 177. Interesting that we've got a dichotomy between ES and NQ for once. Well, they're popping the ES up, not letting it get to its target. I mean the NQ. It is just bouncy, going to be bouncy in here. Lots of puts and calls stacked right in the middle of the range. All right, NQ is getting down to its 1 hour IB, and ES is still struggling to get to 41.55. We're right in the middle of, the monthly. That's not an issue. The weekly, again, is up here and below, so right now it's not an issue either. Just right in the middle of the range. Coming now to the Globex one. And we got to our daily. We got to our full range of the VIX. And it's bouncing. And this is going a little bit bouncy here. But they're holding it. Crude is sitting in the middle of its 1 hour IB, not doing anything. Zeros, and mainly zeros. Same thing with ES and NQ. Just, returning inside the middle. Here is the middle of the Globex range. Try to get to this 41.51. 41.55, sorry. They can get up there. We're sitting right here on the 1 hour IB. So the traders have that 41.55 in mind. Make a run for it now. Here it goes. Trying to get up there. The upper end of that Globex is at 41.59, so if they blow through it, there's just 5,000. And then there's a bunch of calls too. There's a lot of volume sitting at 41.55. It's blocked. Pretty good. Makes it difficult to get up there. All right, target reached. And we're sitting on the daily daily one, and they're thinking about what to do. So they had the courtesy to block it from going further. I mean, that was awfully nice of them. So not sure if we're going to be able to get up there to those weekly ones unless unless they break their pin right here. But at least you know, somebody had the foresight to try to stop it from going below the daily one. Yeah, coming up here to the Globex one, grinding higher. So they're trying to break this. This is your 1 hour IB on the open 2 right there. Giving us a little bit of resistance. So what do we have today for the equity indexes? I mean, I don't know if we're going to be able to get a full range today with all this puts and calls sitting stacked right on top of each other. Let's measure. We've got 4250 and 3050. So 3050 would get us inside the Globex. And this white line is a fib from a prior calculation. I'm going to remove that. So 3050 would be just above the Globex. And if we got higher, 4250, that would get us to this Globex 3, 4175. But right now, let's just see if we're going to have trouble getting to the Globex 1. And for the NQ, we have really done nothing today. We came back in after the earnings report last night on Amazon and gapped down. So we've had this really, really tiny range. Went right to my 2 levels. And I want to show you, so 62, we're really small, tiny range. For the daily, 67.75 would be the first one. So that would get you to the Globex 1. That's where I think we're trying to get up there now. And then you've got 135.25. So that would get us past the weeklies to our Globex 2 up here. I guess that's our Globex 3. Globex 2 is under this weekly. So this looks like a pretty good target if we can break out. It is really struggling to do anything. Both markets. We are going lower with the volatility. Trying to break through the 1-hour IB2 and get to the Globex 1. We've got them pinned as this continues to fall. So we've reached our range, our $5 range. Oh, it's $7 now. See, it's dynamic. It continues to move. That's one thing you're going to like about having this is you're getting updated levels as the range expands. Put it on each tick. So we're breaking the range to the downside. And so they're trying to hit this down. These fall sellers are trying to go down. So this definitely puts the Casbah on any shorts. And we've got the green, green, green now coming on the monitor. Momentum. Trying to get up there to that 41.59. Got 2 points to go. You know, it's like the longest mile, right? It's only 2 points. They got my 1-hour IB2 pinned down like Fort Knox. Yeah, this is really flat in here, so be careful. Um, they've they've held it at the range. See, they're pinning it at the dynamic range as it moves. You see that, guys? Y'all are witnessing this yourself. They, they are pinning my range in the middle of nowhere. It just stops because they know how far the range is supposed to go on a daily basis. So they've stopped the ball. They throw the walls up. So there's really, you need this dynamic indicator versus just some static line once, in the morning or something printed, in my opinion. The levels are dynamic and they do change. And once that breaks, it looks like they're just sitting on it. Those ball sellers are not giving up. Yes, it's a wall, but they'll just sit there and sit on it until it breaks. And look, everything stopped. The ES, the NQ, and the volatility. It's like tap on your monitor, right? Hello, are you there? But that's why they stopped them, because the end of the volatility. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So I think this is a good open house, just so that y'all could have seen this. See the ball stop when it hit the range. Let's see if I can get this to say 107. That would be nice. There it is. 107, 107. Right there, my dear. You're watching this live. You're pushing it down just a little bit. So close. So close. And then here it goes up. See, here's your new bar. They've pushed it up back inside the range. They sure did, and this price is coming down. And the vol sellers are like, they're not giving up. Look at that. This is crazy. I have never in my life seen such nonsense, these vol sellers. And there it goes. They're breaking it. Trying to. Well, I have to, give my hat to the dealer for attempting to block it. I guess they're putting up a little bit of a fight. They didn't do enough, if you ask me. They let it get way too low. We can do a 90. They're breaking it right now. We can do a 90-day and see how far this can go. It's like ridiculous. Way down there. Way down there. They just So we'll just have to sit here and wait for either the vol sellers to go away or the pen to break. Get a cup of coffee. All zeros on the board. Everything's waiting on these vol sellers. They've hijacked our market. Speaking of coffee, I'm going to go get some. I'll be right back. So one thing we can do, it looks like they're breaking the range. Imagine that. One thing we can do is we can use this $7 on the ES. So put up a 14 period donkey and channel on a daily ES. Excuse me. And then you can see where the market's trying to go. So if you go $7 from here, that would be 107. 107. Right there. So I guess it would be from this low right there, 41.80. So that's where the market's trying to go. You get the low exactly. That's 40.68.75. There we go. And that would be right there. Just under 180. So that's her target. For blah, blah, blah. Probability distribution for 175, 176. Normal distribution. And there's nothing normal about these markets, but there you go. 176, which would be Globex 3. And would that be outside of our normal range today? A little bit. $43 points. Yeah, it would be actually the 43 right there. Full range. So that's your target for full range today by the VIX and by the daily. But since we're so stacked with puts and calls, I'm not sure we're going to be able to get it. We'll see. Trying to right now. We're coming into the weekly ones right now on the ES. Where's my weekly? I guess I got my weeklies. Oh, no. What are these? These are daily ones. 4166 daily ones. Yep, right there. Daily one target reached. Right there, tagged it. And got another one above it at 4169.50. And that, I guess I don't have on this chart, I'll put it on it, is the daily one close. I don't have the daily one close on here. Right there. Just reached it. And now we've gotten to our Globex 1 target reached. So we've got our weeklies up here. We'll try to reach. But we're getting a little bit more resistance on this daily too. So they've thrown up another put wall right here. So this might come down a little bit now that we've reached our daily targets and our Globex. We'll have to see. Coming back in. ES is still climbing. It is definitely on fire now, going for that 41.75. Okay, we have not come into the 9 to 9:30 reversal. That's what I'm thinking this might be, and we go lower from here. Wouldn't that be a refreshing change? So not sure if ES is going to make it up to that 41.75. Making a run for it now. Okay, we're getting to our weekly one. And see where they turn it around. Coming back up here to the Amazon sell-off. It's like, are you adventurous enough to try for a short somewhere around here? It's all getting green on the market analyzer at the moment. Green, green, green. Trying to get that upper target. Having trouble getting over there they broke it. Going long. Coming back into 13.3. Trying to. Actually, it's sort of slipping a little bit. And this is the part that kills me, is it like goes up, a tick and then falls back and goes up a tick and falls back. It's just very difficult trading. But even more so with the extended volatility and all the puts and calls stacked. So just be careful today. We're at risk, and the dealer does not want to move this risk. I can guarantee you that. They already shoved it back in once. They will not hesitate to do so again. Seven-day up there and 1 week here. 1 week open. Let me put the 1 week close on here. It's up here too, so we've got 3 of them. The 1 weekly close is sitting on the 7 days. That's going to be really strong resistance. Shaking some action right here. Almost there. Trying to get up there. Got the green on the screen. Very good. Getting up there. So you've got the PT2 for the 1 hour IB, you've got the Globex 2, and you've got the weeklies. So you've got resistance, resistance, resistance. And if you put this on a 5-minute chart, you'll see that these levels have already been reached because that's the difference between the close of the 15-minute and the 5-minute. Right there. So just be careful. You know, they could be taking profits early if you've got prop traders on a 5-minute chart instead of a 15-minute. I like the 15-minute bar myself. But somewhere around here, targets are getting hit. And we got our range in the ES. Target reached. And we're coming down, 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 down for the volatility. So like I said, be adventurous if you're going to try that short in the NQ. You might as well just wait for next week, unless, you know, something changes at the power hour. So our ranges are met. Targets reached. I like that. So I'll be very curious to see if they can hump this over the weeklies, or if the dealers are stacking it right there. That board is green, 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 and they can't go nowhere because they've hit their targets. And it looks like the volatility stopped on a dime as well. So they're blocking this is a different PT2. So this is the PT2 for the close. Yep. So they're blocking that. So they're blocking the PT2 at the weekly ones. So they really, really, really don't want to move their risk. They're stopping everything right now. Walls are up. Wall is up. And you can see that they come in and hit the wall. So let's see who's going to win, dealer or vol seller? What do you think? I think the dealer's going to win. But those vol sellers are after this lower target. I don't know. Maybe the vol sellers. They're not giving up. Got some zeros coming in. So, you know, instead of it like hitting the wall and bouncing off, which I like, I prefer it to like slam down to the target and bounce and, go up a mile. A lot of the times it just hits the wall and sits there for hours and not does anything, doesn't do anything. And price will just back up a little bit and try to hit it again. Price will back up a little bit, try to hit it again. And it'll just sit there the whole day like that. And the fund algos or whoever's trying to break it, they can't see our levels. So they don't know why. It's just sitting there in the middle of nowhere, It doesn't have any open interest, it doesn't have any volume, and it's because we can't see their order flow, or they can't see their order flow. So, but we know what's happening. So let's see who wins. And it looks like the vol sellers have gotten it a little bit lower below that too. Look at that. Mm-mm-mm. They're trying. So overall, I would think that this is a pretty good open house because you're getting to see the power of these historical volatility levels on these higher time frames. Can't get it. Can't get it. That was a swing and a miss. Turning around. This fall is going up. Yep. And they'll turn down and then try to hit it again and turn down and try to hit it again. I've seen them try to break a wall like, for hours and then finally it just drifts away. I prefer, it not to sit there all day. They'll send it back up. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. They're turning down, turning down. I like it. Well, if y'all don't have any questions, I'm going to call it early today at 10 o'clock since it's Friday. We've got this quarterly sitting there too. 400, that's way up there though. You're welcome, Bradley. I appreciate it. You just let me know if you need anything. Wednesdays will be training, Wednesdays or Thursdays. And I'll try to show you some tricks and tips. Try to set up your points, market analyzer like I do. One thing that you might like doing is noticing these opening ranges. So 59 points in PT3 for the full range. So let's, from the low of the bar, if you're expecting high volatility, you could set that as a target to reach from the low of the bar. And not every bar is a full bar, full range bar. 42.25 for PT2, easier to reach. It's like right there. You can see that's 42 points. And PT1, 21. So you could spread out your targets using this method. Maybe scale out from the low of the bar these profit targets. Or, use it from an EMA, bounce it off of an EMA. We haven't really talked about the price oscillator. It is the same concept. Let me just share this with you while we got a few minutes if you want me to. The price oscillator can be used to project your excursions as well and points. So let me put up a 5-minute ES bar. That's pretty common. And put up the Jats price oscillator and an 8 EMA. So what this does is tells you how far away in points you are to the 8 EMA, the mothership, where it will come back and allow you to get another entry to go long. And you could see yesterday, it really didn't get that far at first, very, very low targets. And now today it really got up there. But you can get your average. So you can see that 5 points away gets hit quite frequently away from the 8 EMA. And for big ranges, well, that was huge, 20 points or 25. And minus 20, got down minus 20 and then went back to the EMA. And how to use this, the reason I set mine up was so that we could, oops, use it with Blackbird. And so if you want to set your profit targets, to the 5 points, but you would like to set your risk uh, to the opposite 5 points, to have a symmetrical automatic, trading system in Blackbird. Um, Set the um, ATR up, but instead of the ATR, put the Jats price oscillator. Yeah. And what you want to do is use the absolute value and then set your EMA. This is also can be set up for Bollinger, but we'll just use EMA. And then put this -5 or -1, sorry. And then for your profit target, do the same thing. ATR, put your price oscillator in. 8 EMA. And this time just put it on, oh, you need to put these on 1, sorry. Put it on like that. 1 fast, 8 slow, 1 smooth. Sorry. And make this a 1. Let me go back and change this one. There we go. And that'll get you a 'Did I do this wrong? Hang on 1 second. I don't use this indicator very much. I use my PT indicator. So this is 8 away from the EMA. So it's measuring from the EMA down. 5, I mean 5. I put 5 points. Five points, yeah. So, but when you're using the Jats PT indicator for a target, which I use almost exclusively, it's the same way. You set it up as an ATR. You can come in here and put your range that you would like to trade, a 15-minute range or whatever time frame you would like. You can do a minute bar, you can do a time series. and you can choose PT 1, 2, or 3. So if you would like the full, so let's just use a uh, PT1, for instance, just to show you how to do it. Leave this as 1, and then come in here and do the same thing. Change it to the PT2 time series. PT1. There you go. And so that'll dynamically measure it from the current volatility from the open. Um, that would be 34% of the 15-minute range. If you would like to use the PT2, that would be 68%. And if you'd like to use PT3, that would be 95% of the 15-minute range. So if you're in, medium volatility, definitely consider using PT2 or 3. 3 for sure for higher volatility. And that way you don't have to worry about measuring volatility. It will measure it itself for you. Look at that. Okay, you're welcome. And you could do the same thing with 3. Just if you want to put it like 50%, you could put this on PT3, which is 95% of the range, and then just adjust this to 0.50. You know what I'm saying? So you could put any percentage of that range that you wanted. Instead of making it a 1, you can do a 0.5 or a 0.25 that way, or a 0.3. Okay. Well, y'all have a great day. It's we've got 15 more minutes. I don't know if you want to sit here and watch it die out, but that's pretty much probably what this is going to do, is just flatten out. We're back below the ones. We hit our weekly range on the NQ, and that is where the dealer, it started taking off on Amazon, and they shoved it back down their risk. That's their risk line. If you had any doubt about it, you can erase those doubts. Their put wall is right there. So they don't want to move their risk. If they have to move their risk, they will, but that costs them a lot of money. So they prefer not to move the risk today. And that really could, considering what might happen next week. Well, I don't want to speculate, but that it could be there a while if we gap down Sunday. Or they could end up breaking this in the power hour. Who knows what's going to happen? If they move their risk, they're going to have to move it, you know, way up there. And I don't think that that's going to cost them a lot of money. So we'll see what they want to do. And the volatility is so stretched already. So we know that they don't want to get it below here, and we're real close. So they're already, stopping it at this PT2 of the daily, of the volatility. So who knows what's going to happen. Keep some powder dry is my motto. This, we saw on the volume for the puts and calls, it is just stacked, 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 stacked. So anytime you see stacked volume like that, it's just like very hard to get a breakaway trade. So All right, Mr. or Ms. Yen, I appreciate it. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I have time, of course.
Hey, thank you. So really quick, the top market analyzer that you have, which displays the trend and all
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
various things,
Yeah.
what does that correspond to on the website? So I see a couple different market analyzer things mentioned.
Yeah, yeah. The PT market analyzers are on the PT page. Um, on the website, let's pull it up real quick. Good question. And so on my website, I've got right here Jats Market Analyzer. I should rename it Bloodhound, but it's this Bloodhound Market Analyzer. It These are black box Bloodhound templates. You can't change them or put your code in them, and it's a lifetime license.
Okay, so but
And it's on sale today. I do have that included in the open house sale. So if you like it, it's right here. Let's see. Hang on. Right here, 361.25. So this is the Bloodhound Market Analyzer.
okay,
And
gotcha.
what these other ones, so you know, me with my naming, I have Asperger's and I can't name anything or label anything. I've had every dog has probably been named the same name, you know, over and over and over. I just reuse the names. But labels and me have really big problems. My market analyzer for the PT group, you know, I gave you the one with the equities, right? So,
Yes, yeah.
so that comes with your subscription for one market analyzer group. If you would like me to set it up for the different groups, I can give you energy or fixed income. I can do that for just a little bit extra. I think on the PT page, if you wanted to have like this set up for fixed income or energy, it would just be an additional little bit amount, 49 a month or something. But I can show you how to change your templates to put the new markets in it, and you can set it up as a workspace yourself. And I'll be glad to show you how to do that, so you don't have to spend any extra money. Um, but since I've already got it all set up as a group in a workspace, that might be a convenience factor for you if you don't want to fool with it. So you can just load your workspace every day and see it. But that is the difference. Bloodhound versus points and levels. And I love both. I mean, it's like, you know, having the ranges for these time frames and getting an average range of what things should be going. You know, it's like all kids are not 6'2", right? So the range is not going to be exact every day, but once you understand what the average ranges should be, then you can, you know, see, you know, are we breaking ranges? Are we trading inside the ranges? It is so helpful for trading. It's like today we hit the 107 and you saw it just sit there and sit there and sit there. They were trying to pin it before they broke it, and where did they move the risk? I mean, this is such a good example of everything that I've been teaching you guys. If it breaks the one, where does it go? It goes to the two, right? 1 to 2. And then they park their put wall underneath there and are shoving it back in. And if it breaks the 2, then it goes to the 3 down here. That was my epiphany. 1, 2, 3. Um, and that's how it works, pretty much. Every market, it's the same. So now that we're clever and have figured it out, I asked the market maker, you know, are they going to change it? You know, are they going to change the market? And she's like, no, it won't change. I said, well, if they do, we will be ready because we can change right with them. So if they stop doing a 14 period, we can go to a 20 or a 5 or a 10 or whatever. We'll find it. I'll find it and then let you know what it changed to. But she said no, they won't change it. Everything's coded to this, and it's pretty true. You can see when they're running in a normal distribution that it's pretty, pretty spot on accurate. But like everything else, not every day is a normal distribution day. You can have a crazy wild swing day, and the levels just all break. With a huge amount of volatility one way or the other. But that helps you make your decisions. Or am I trading inside volatility or outside? What you should do is get your ES chart up and put a 60-minute PT2 on it and just look at your volatility. Let's do that real quick since we've got a few minutes. So here's a 60-minute chart. Put a PT2 indicator on it. Like that. And scrunch it up all the way. And you can see how ridiculously low this volatility has been, right? Once it starts going back up to normal, it's really going to take off to the downside. I mean, we could have upside vol too, but long vol long, but most of the time it'll take off to the downside. So, you can put your averages, if I'm going to hit volatility, I want to be able to hit the 10 or the 20 or the 30 on a 60-minute bar. 10, 20, and 30. It's the same thing on a 15. And use these to benchmark your volatility ranges. If I'm trading below the 10 threshold, I know that I'm in low volatility. And then I can be planning to only shoot for PT1 or PT2 targets, right? If I'm trading between 10 and 20, I definitely want to be shooting for the PT2 or PT3 targets. And if I'm up here between the 20 and the 30, I'm only looking for PT3, right? I've got to widen that bar out if I even want to trade it, depending upon how much my wallet is, because it can go from tip to toe before you find out you're wrong. You know what I mean? It can be a huge bar and whip around before it gets, to the target. And if it gets above 30, which it can do, like in COVID and stuff like that, you can just not take any more trades. See how wide and spiky that got? So if it's above 25 even, you can say, just stop trading my algo. We can control the vol world that we want to be engaging the market in, which I think is a huge, huge plus for traders to be able to control their volatility. And then we know if the vol is contracting or expanding, contracting. And if it gets way up there, right, to the stratosphere, way above 30, that is a great place to go long from, right? After it spikes down on high vol, on that deceleration, that's when it just starts going back up. That long vol flip. There's a lot we can do with volatility. So anyway, I'll stop. I can go on and on and on and on and on. So this was a nice push down. Yeah, push down to my levels off that weekly one. Very nice. So thanks so much, Bradley. Appreciate it. And we'll talk at you guys later. Y'all have a great weekend. All right. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.